Hello React Native developers, I hope you are well. William here, recording from beautiful Zurich, Switzerland. In this video, I would like us to tackle the shopping cart. But before we get into it, I would like us to fix an issue with the content container we created here. So we tried to reuse it in transaction history, but because here, this is a full screen view because we have a scroll view. So we need to, we ask the scroll view to take as much space as possible. And here it doesn't look very nice because we see our content bottom container being, we see this white margin here. So I think I would like us to fix this quickly. And so here we can call it. So what I want to do is that here we know that we have a flex 1 in the content, where here we only try to use as much space as available. So I would like to display this SVG on top and invert. So instead of having, here we have an image as a background and having the white color as a fill, I would like to do it the other way around, to draw the shape here and use the background image as a fill. I'm actually wondering if we could do it here. So I could define so I could put the path here, use an image but from React Native reanimated. Let me check. So here I have image from React Native SVG. So we can do so let me remove this one here. And so I can copy this URL here. And so we could maybe remove this here. Is that okay? So I guess this one is a clip path ID clip. It's funny here, it's already using clip path in the example. Okay. And so do we have, so we have a syntax error somewhere, not here. GSX must be assigned to non-empty expressions. You guys are probably seeing it already. I mean, here it's not complaining about, let me see where, our image source. I think so. This one is wrong, but I think there would be assets, patterns, and let's say 1.png. And I think we just had an issue with reloading. Okay, so maybe here 0 with 100. Okay, opacity we can remove. And we can invert the shape. But I should have created, okay, it's okay. I should have created another component because this obviously won't work here. But that's okay. Let's finish this one, and then we'll create a new component, and I will revert this file. So here we want to draw exactly the inverted shape. So we start from the bottom. It's funny, I'm pointing with my finger, but you cannot see it. We're gonna start with this point. So we move to 0, 100. So we need to draw an arc here. So we draw an arc, 50, 50. So 50 is the radius. No rotation, and the flags I think are 0, 1, and we go to 50, 50 actually. Looks good. We see it here. And then we need to draw a line here, so which would be 3, so horizontal line 325. Looks good. And then we need to draw an arc that goes to this point, so it would be the same as this one but inverted. So 50, 50, radius 50, 0, 0, and I think 0 as well here because we invert to 375, 0. I think it looks good. We just need to close it properly, which would be horizontal line to 375, 100, and then close. No? So then we can draw a line back to 0, 100. Still not working. Let me... Okay, if I close... So we go to 375, 0. We want to draw a line to... Oh, it's vertical line to 100. Yes. And then close, just for safety. Cool. Now, should we overlay this guy? So we should overlay this content on top of this one. And we know here this one, because it's a scrollable view, we have a flex. Could use, can remove the fragment here, use a box, I think. So what's going on here is that, so these designs with these curves are quite difficult to achieve, and I think I've made a big mistake by trying to avoid SVG, and now we are using SVG to do it. It's will simplify things, and I think as we use these curves more and more, the patterns, use cases, abstractions we need to use will emerge, and it will become clearer and clearer and cleaner over time. We're just like getting started. I just think that what we did originally was just a huge mistake, because it was not a huge mistake, but at least not scalable at all. So lesson learned. So here we would have a flex, and we need to overlay this one on top. So which would be something like position absolute, bottom 0, left 0, right 0. Cool. So now, I mean, if I make it bigger here, see. It's cool. Maybe we can change. I like it. Or maybe, what did we do? This one? Whatever. So let me copy this guy and reset everything. And now in transaction history, we're going to use scrollable content. And let's create it. So I have it in the buffer. I'm just going to paste the implementation we just wrote. So scrollable content. And these, are probably not the right abstractions, but we are going to refine over time. The thing I really wanted to do was to now really introduce the users of SVG to implement this curve design, these curvatures. So that would be scrollable content. Up. Okay, and oops, I clicked logout. Let me log in quickly. And here it's still the same component from yesterday. So now let's look into this guy here, the shopping cart. Where is our navigator? I think it's not here. Sorry, up. Should be here. Here. So we'll create cart. And add it here as well. No, it's here actually. We have it here. It's not the same. Yeah, that's where. Okay. So I'm gonna create cart component. Okay. Index file. And cart component. So I used to run, so I'm running the tab9 plugin to have fancy completion. Here I'm not sure why, oh, TSX, that's why I don't have the snippet. I am actually now, because I'm doing the recording, I'm actually running the cloud version of tab9 where the inference is run on the network, because if I run the inferences locally, it's just making the typing experience too slow with the recording and everything. So here it's I'm running a less powerful version, but still does the job, I think. And here in drawer we want to go to cart. So here on press, can I do navigation? Navigate to. Yeah, perfect. So now let's go back to the design. So here. So the cart item, you see here, it looks like we have two layers. This background layer and this top layer. And you can swipe one to these positions to be determined. And so let's do two layers and make one swipeable on top of the other. So let's draw. Here the parent is already a view with flex 1, but just for good measure, let's have it here. And let's do a view, so the background view. I guess this one, so I could have like background color secondary. Oops, need to import box. So this would be our background. And then we would have on top of it, so should I use box? We know it's going to be an animated view, right? But so with some content. And what I would do is height. So let's do background color white so we can see it quickly. And it has some absolute position fill. So it's overlaid on top of it. And of course, here wouldn't be bottom 0, but this dimension, which we're gonna measure and put in ratio, multiply by the aspect ratio of our screen to respect the proportions. I'm still not sure how to measure these things. Is that what it is? So that would be how should I? So should I do 682 times the width of our screen divided by 375? Is that? And so here we do position. So height would be times width, which is the width of our screen, divided by the width of the sketch file, which is 375. Let's see. Top 0, left 0, right 0, and height. Yeah, cool. And we can have our even. So if I go in theme, so interestingly, I'm just noticing here that the border radius, what is it here? Can I? It's just that we used 50 on the previous SVG, and here we don't have 50 in the theme, which means that we're probably using the XL value 75. I'm just wondering if we should adapt also. So that's what we're using. I'm just wondering if we should adapt the rest, but so that would be border, bottom, radius. So we can import the theme. So that would be border radii .xl. So I should do left and right. Nice. Okay. And I think I know actually why. If I go back to content, here we use 50, but it's 50 in the viewport. It's not 50 points in my view, in the React Native Canva. That's why. Oops. Let me just restart. Okay. So that doesn't look too bad, which should now make it swipeable. So we're gonna do a pan gesture handler. We migrated this project to Expo 39, and we still have some V1 legacy, which we're gonna remove. But so here we're gonna use V2. So on gesture event, we need to create a non-gesture event. Pan gesture handler from React Native Reanimated. So on gesture event is use animated gesture handler. And it makes me think, are we using Reanimated Alpha 6? We could use Alpha 6.1. I think there's a minor improvement in the types system for 6.1. The typings are a tiny bit better. Let me just... So we're gonna have translate Y, use shared value. And we need an animated style to translate here. So style is use animated style, where we can return transform translate Y is translate Y.value. Up. We can pass it here as parameter. Okay, now we could do on active. translate. Just to test, we could do translation y. Okay, right. On end, we need to snap to either this start position to 0 or to whatever is the amount we want to translate. I seem to be limited here in, yeah, it's just because I lose the gesture here. So, and what should be this value? So this one is max height. I should do min height. Min height is this. $228. So on end, and we're gonna take the velocity also here. We do translate y.value with spring, but with spring too, we need to know, so dest, and so we need to pick between two snap points. Redash as a function that, given a value and a velocity, will help us to know where to spring, and we know that our two snap points are 0 or this position means a translation of height minus mean height. Minus, we go up, so would be minus height minus mean height. And these are our snap points, and to pick which one, we're going to use redash. Snap point, and I think so. Snap point, oops. Let me import it. I might not be using, maybe I might need to upgrade redash, which version I'm using. That's might be too old. Let me look. I think we have 15.7.11 or something. Might be the reason. 11.1. It's possible that this was introduced a bit later. Okay. So now it recognizes the signature value, velocity, perfect. So value is translate y.value, velocity y, and we need to import this spring. Up. Cool, come on. Oh, this is less cool. Another thing which is not cool is we don't remember where we are. So on start, we're going to create an offset. So we have event, context, and so we would have context.y equals translate dot translate y dot value, and here we would do context dot y plus translation y, and so here we always remember where we are. So that's cool. Now we should trim the value, probably add also some overshoot clamping, which is a bit too bad because it might remove some of the coolness of the effect. But let's add some, so let's type the context first. So this is where I'm not using the updated version of the types, but it's okay. We're gonna have y is a number. And here you see, I mean, just as a side note, here I know on start y is assigned, so it's always a number value. But if you're not sure, it depends on some condition. It's funny, anyways. You can add this. You can type it as being optional if you're not sure that it's assigned. But here it's always assigned. So, and so we should trim the value. I'm wondering, should we do it? We should do it on active, or should we do it here? We shouldn't do it here because of the spring, but let's try. So here we clamp. So I could create here snap points. Can I do this? Probably not, especially in a worklet. These are not supported. So 0, 1. So you see now it clamps nicely. We do have the overshoot, which we can remove. This is definitely gonna remove some of the nice bouncing we have here. We should have the config depending on the destination point, meaning here we are allowed to overshoot. Here we shouldn't. I don't know. So here in the config we can do overshoot clamping false. Let's see how bad, if it's gonna get bad or not. Or it's still gonna be decent. I guess it's still... No, it's not working actually. No, true, sorry. We want to clamp the overshoot. Yeah, so it's not so fancy anymore, but at least it's working. So yeah. Okay. So now we should... This is all and well, but we should really factorize it. So here in this box, we'll have the actual content. And in this one, we'll have the content on top. So we should factorize this into a single component. And actually, this one, we could call it... Maybe let's call it cart container. Just gonna copy this one here and here. So we would have card container, and we're gonna put this content here as a child. So for instance, I could do header. So if I go in, let's see, transaction history, for instance, we have a header, just as an example. Here we get children's now. We get children's, but we will get more than this because we also need the background, which we are gonna set as a prop. Or we could do the first send to child, top level child, the first one children. The first one is the foreground, the second one is the background. We could do this. Here we would have children. Which, let's do the foreground first. Okay, cool. Now let's do some content. So we still have some buttons, so we do need the navigation. Just trying to look for some examples. Up. And so here we are again with our curves. Just trying to think how we're gonna do it. So here we would have a scroll view. We would need here to have this part that I guess maybe have something overlaid on top of the scroll view so you can still allow the swipe gesture on top. And here we're gonna have some header thing. In header, we don't have any color things, no. Pink. Shopping cart. Here, let's go back. Probably named arrow left. And this one, is it bag? Or can I? Yeah. Okay. So we would have the box header with the background color, which I guess is primary. Some scroll view with the content. And we'll have one item. Okay. This seems to be also somehow, swipeable. So item we're going to create. Okay. And so now you see I cannot swipe anymore because this is a scroll view, which I think is fair. So I'm thinking here of overlaid some view here so we can swipe. But now I'm wondering also instead if we can have some sort of negotiation where if the scroll view, but no, it's the same gesture. So, you know, I was thinking if the scroll view rejects, but it's actually also, it should be the default behavior. So here I'm going to add some, make this part non-scrollable. And the way we can make it non-scrollable is by having a view here, a transparent view, which is going to be of this height. So position, absolute, top left, right 0, and height, and it would be bottom 0. Okay, so you see now we have control, and here it's going to be a scroll view. And I guess here they have like this thing to show that this is swipeable. Theme.colors.theme background 2. Let's do with 60 just to try. Oops. And here, justify content center, align item center. And or even flex end here, and we can do maybe margin bottom 5, or I don't know. Let's do theme dot spacing medium. And we need to add some border radius, which I guess would be 2.5. And we need to multiply, I would multiply all these values by aspect ratio, since we've taken them from the original design. this is our aspect ratio. Up. Okay. So now let's make the header. So we should have the text color to be white. Where are we here? Oh, we do have a prop for it actually. Is that? No. Ah, okay. Okay, not bad. It's a button. Background color. Secondary. Or should we customize it? Where are we using it? Is that where? That's why we use it, right? So why can't I make it transparent somehow? Line. And is this one? So background color is mandatory. Why is it mandatory? Can be undefined, so can I do this instead? Looks like I can. Looks good. Looks good. This looks good as well. I might have created a crazy regression, but we'll see. Okay, so now we need to do a rounded thing again. It's really tempting to You see, I'm always tempted to do it without SVG, but I must resist. Yeah, let's do the shape and then let's place the title on top. So let's do an SVG. Again, we have a view box, which is, we're going to do 0, 0, 375, 100 with is with. And it makes me think about this aspect. Height is width times aspect ratio, but we use it everywhere. Maybe I should factorize it somewhere. Maybe in the theme. So with and so we know that aspect ratio would be width divided by 375. So we would have height is width times aspect ratio. I should really factorize this somewhere. Can I create a random so can I just do this aspect ratio? Actually, but then we would have to go inside the component. Can I do, maybe I do this. Okay. No, that's not width, would be 100. Yes. Now, let's do a path. We really struggled to do it last time, but now we seem to understand how they work. I'm gonna just write here, fill is theme.colors.primary. And theme we get from use theme, which we get from this guy. Path. And now let's do the path. So D, we start at 0, 0, and we're gonna go here. So move to 0, 0, arc 50, 50, radius is 50. Let's do 0, 0, 1. So 2, 100, 2, 50, 50. I'm not sure if I did something wrong or it's just because I need to finish my shape to be able to see something. No. Let me 0, 0, 50, 50, and then we trace a line to 3, 25, 50. So horizontal line to 3, 25. Something is not right. That's better. So here would be 0, Yes, that looks good. And so that looks good. And then we draw an arc that goes like this. So 50 radius, 0, 0, 1 this time, and we go to this corner. So 375, 100. Yes. And then vertical line to 0. Yes. We can close for good measure. That's good, right? And we need to move it outside. We can add back the color primary. And I need to put the title. I'm not sure how to do it. I mean, I couldn't do it like this, of course. But let's try. So we're gonna overlay. So we have the container. Now the SVG is the background SVG, and here we can overlay some text. What kind of text do we have? 3 items added. .24 semi-bold. Let's see if we have some typography that correspond to it. So it would be title 2. So variant title 2, text align center. Color, no. How is it in header? Background. Okay. Looks too big. Oof. I don't know. Can I do just to check? Yeah, okay, it doesn't look too bad. And so now we could have some items. So let's go back to the design. So we have a row, a swipeable row. But let's do a row first, and then let's make it swipeable after. So it's swipeable on both. So it looks like so one row, and so some padding, and then it's divided in almost three equal parts. I mean, not really actually, but so box padding equals is medium, flex direction is row, And so here we'll have the item. Okay, let's just put a fixed size, I guess. So the background color we must have somewhere. Here I'm gonna use something from the palette directly because we're gonna change it because we're gonna get it from the data. So here I'm gonna break the styling rules, but it's because it's just temporary. So I'm gonna do palette dot, let's say yellow. So we would have weave 120, height 120. Can have border radius 12, and like, so if I go to theme, I could use medium. Yeah, that's good. Ah, this part is not good. I mean, actually, that makes sense. We know that here the border radius is 75. So I'm tempted to have here a padding that is a bit larger. Still actually doesn't. And we have the problem here also. So if I go back here to the count container, I think it would be reasonable here to not have it absolute. We have the problem also on the top. I'm thinking maybe, where is the border radius? To set it in the scroll container style. Which is, where is it? So here, content, container style. Yeah, no. Or in style. That's actually good. Okay. That's reasonable. And here I can do show scroll vertical indicator false. And now let's do the top. So where? Ah, that's because of this. So can we do let me try to, so let's make it position absolute. Let me think. So we need to overlay what we want. Yeah, it's just to have this one as an overlay. Style, position, absolute. Top, we don't know. We don't know the top position. But if I move this box here, I can move it to the bottom. No. Okay. Let's see. Bottom 0, it should. So I'm going to do bottom 0. So height width is set. Should I do left 0? Right 0. Height is height. And I guess this has been position absolute. We should. I'm expecting this to now be overlaid on top of this component. And then here we could have a view, for instance, which is, but I wouldn't do it like this, but just to debug, which is height. Okay, now we see it. And I think here we offset it, the scroll view nicely, but this we can, I think we can clean up. But now, bottom 0, left, right. Okay. That's actually good. This and height should be so should be bottom should be minus height divided by 2. Yes. course, we have an issue here. And this one we can fix easily. But actually it might be a good idea to remove here the border radius, because that's not very pretty. Or we could move these. No, we will always have the issue. We could start the content of the scroll view to be really... what about... Okay. And now it's about maybe just offsetting always the content of why is the scroll view on top. So we can move so we do need to make this one bigger by half the height of this. So we will have height equals height divided by 2. Should I offset it here? Should I just try to... It's not gonna... All right, so maybe I think I'm gonna take a break and figure this one offline. But yeah, hopefully we will be... I'm gonna investigate how to fix this layout, look into a swipeable raw component we can use to implement this. So I'm really looking forward to see you in the next session, and until next time, happy hacking.